What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So I'm obviously very fortunate in getting the chance to check out all of the latest and greatest tech products. And more often than not, I'm probably upgrading and swapping things out just about every month. But for the last few years now, I've actually had just one pair of over-ear headphones for day-to-day use, and they've been these, my white Audio-Technica ATH-M50x's. I purchased them in May of 2016, according to my Amazon account, and over that time span, they've served me well. I use them primarily for video editing and casual music listening while I'm sitting at my desk, and for around $150, I think they're still some of the best headphones you can buy at that price range, even though they are sort of getting up there in age. As far as how well they've held up, they definitely do show some wear and tear, but I like to think I've been pretty gentle with them, all things considered. The earpads have definitely gotten a little flaky and worn along the sides and edges where the material is a bit thinner. Sure, I could replace the earpads if I want to, but I think they still have a bit of life left in them. The headband also shows a bit of wear too, but it's not so bad overall, which is nice, and even though the headphones are all white, they do wipe clean pretty well too. Obviously, I do really like my M50x's, and since they're studio monitor headphones, I pair them with my Focusrite Scarlett audio interface, and this setup allows me to hear all the little details when I edit my voiceovers, and it produces a great sound when listening to music too. But in a world of smartphones with no headphone jack, and my general disinterest in having to rely on dongles, my headphones spend their life on a stand on my desk, and I generally don't get to travel with them or use them with my phone on the go. They're stuck being my at-home headphones, which is why I'm pretty excited about Audio-Technica's new M50xBTs. These aim to essentially be the same M50x headphones a lot of us have come to know and love, but now with an option to go wireless via Bluetooth. Now, I know Audio-Technica makes a ton of great headphones, and they've offered a big selection of Bluetooth products in the past, so I wasn't really concerned with these being bad or anything like that. I fully expected them to be another excellent Audio-Technica product. My biggest question, obviously, was how these would compare to what I already know and have used for the last few years. In my mind, I sort of wanted them to be exactly the same, with the same look and feel and the same sound too, which is the most important part. And fortunately, Audio-Technica did just that and really hit it out of the park with these. Inside the box, you of course get the headphones themselves, which offer a very familiar look and feel. And beyond that, you also get a nice carrying bag to store the headphones in when you're on the go, and there's also two included cables. A 3.5mm auxiliary cable for going wired if you need to, and a micro USB cable for charging, which I know going with micro USB is kind of a disappointment for some people, but I guess I can live with it. If you couldn't tell already, the design and build is exactly the same as the standard M50s. As far as I can tell, they didn't modify a thing, and I don't think that was a bad decision at all. The wireless ones only come in black right now, so this isn't going to be a perfectly even comparison, but you'll at least be able to get the idea. The bottom line though, is that if you like the look and the feel and the design of the M50x's, if they fit well for you and you're comfortable with them, you're getting the exact same experience. On the other hand, if you had any complaints with the original M50x's, don't look for these to be any different. You've got the same amount of cushion on the ear pads, which for me is totally fine. I find them pretty comfortable and have definitely gotten used to them over the years now. And it's the same story along the headband up top too. There's identical cushion material to keep the top of your head comfortable. They flex and bend without creaking or cracking, which is great, and I personally always felt these were well built and relatively high quality headphones, with a metal headband and hard plastic construction. Speaking of the headband, you've got the same notched adjustment setup on the sides for stretching things out or keeping them tight depending on how big your head is, and there's plenty of space and also a good number of notches to get the right fit for just about everybody. And of course, you can also fold the headphones up to make them easier to travel with, and I've always liked that about these. They really don't take up much space at all in a backpack or bag, and if you do want to take them with you, you're working with a pretty compact pair of headphones when they are all folded up. Of course, because these are wireless, you're going to get some buttons and controls built into the side of the headphones, including the power button, the micro USB charging port, the 3.5mm jack, volume up and down, and the play and pause buttons. What's also interesting is that Audio-Technica included touch controls on these too, so tapping and holding your finger on the left earphone actually launches your virtual assistant like Siri. I like the addition there, even though I personally don't use Siri all that much, but I will talk about all the button controls in just a minute because I think that is one area where Audio-Technica sort of dropped the ball. I do want to take a second to talk about the wired option on these here because Audio-Technica did make some changes to the cable they ship, which ended up sort of being both a positive and a negative. If you guys remember with the standard M50x's, the cord that ships with those is Audio-Technica's proprietary locking cable, and that's fine for the most part, but if it breaks or stops working, or if you want a longer or shorter cable, you're sort of out of luck. With the wireless M50s now, Audio-Technica ships a more standard 3.5mm cable, but it's still sort of proprietary in the sense sense that the actual jack itself is recessed a bit. There's no locking mechanism though, so if you can find a cable that works with it, it can be replaced. The cable is also really short, 1.2 meters, which is a little annoying, and it's also a right angled plug on the end. Again, just kind of annoying more than anything. There are inline controls on the cable, but just one button though, because the rest of your controls are on the headphones. It's got a mic too, but there's also a mic on the headphones directly, so you can take phone calls wirelessly if you want to do that. As far as the fit, like I said earlier, you're getting the exact same feel as the standard M50s. Nothing has changed here at all. So if you found these comfortable, you'll enjoy wearing the wireless ones, of course. If you ever need to swap out the ear pads on either of these headphones, you can do that pretty easily, and I know that's what a lot of people end up doing. And all in all, for me personally, I've never had any complaints with how these feel on my ears or around my head. I tend to wear mine for 3 or 4 hours every single day, and they'll stretch out a bit as time goes on and get more comfortable, but they've been a good pair of headphones for me as far as how they feel. My only gripe though with the design of the new ones is the fact that the built-in controls on the headphones are kind of difficult to feel for and use. I'm sure as time goes on I'll get more familiar with them, but the volume and play and pause buttons are almost sort of like behind your ear, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I wish Audio-Technica actually went the route of allowing you to use the touch controls for playing and pausing music instead by default. I think that would have made a bit more sense, but honestly I can live with it, and the controls being a little awkward isn't at all a deciding factor with these. Okay, so let's talk about the listening experience, since that's probably why most of you are here. I want to divide this up a bit because there's a couple different points that are really important with the wireless M50s, and I want to make sure I hit everything. As just your standard Bluetooth headphones, these sound fantastic. In my opinion, they're definitely on the higher end of sound quality for wireless headphones overall, and they deliver that sort of signature Audio-Technica sound that I've come to enjoy over the last couple of years. But I do realize it isn't necessarily for everyone. With that being said, a handful of people have remarked that Audio-Technica changed the sound profile just a bit with these compared to the standard wired M50s, with a slightly reduced bass and treble. I personally didn't hear a noticeable difference, but your ears might be better than mine, and that could be something you notice. There's also the matter of a wired versus wireless sound experience too. From what I've been able to tell, there is just an ever so slight difference in sound when listening to them over Bluetooth versus when they're plugged in. Music is just a tiny bit more muffled when you're wireless, which I think is expected, but the difference is negligible. For all intents and purposes, the M50x BTs sound nearly identical whether you're plugged in or on the go. And I think Audio-Technica did an amazing job making sure your listening experience is basically identical. I know one thing that's sort of hit or miss about Bluetooth headphones is the latency, which is that little delay or like lag you might experience with the audio coming from your phone or computer to your ears. With some pairs of Bluetooth headphones and earbuds, there's a noticeable amount of disconnect, and the audio that's being delivered doesn't match up with what's playing, and that can be pretty annoying and sort of ruin the whole experience. Fortunately though, with these, the latency I think is at a bare minimum. You'll still notice a delay in the audio against the video just ever so slightly, but I don't think it's enough to really negatively impact your viewing or listening experience, and overall it rivals any of the other higher quality Bluetooth earbuds and headphones on the market right now. There's also the matter of comparing the wireless M50s to the standard ones and what you might experience going from one to the other. And surprisingly, once again, across all three scenarios, the standard older M50s, a wired connection with the new M50BTs, or going completely wireless with the new ones, the sound that's delivered is just about identical, which really impressed me. Again, some people might be able to pick up a slight difference with an updated sound profile on the new wireless ones, but I sat here and went back and forth between them probably 100 times and I could hardly tell the difference. And honestly, I think that's really impressive. For someone like me who's really enjoyed using the M50s for a while now, I was a little hesitant in giving the wireless ones a try because I genuinely didn't expect them to sound the same, especially over Bluetooth. But I can say with confidence that with the M50BTs, the addition of Bluetooth is not only a big plus, but in my opinion, it also doesn't affect or impact the listening experience at all, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. These are absolutely going to be my new permanent pair of headphones, just on the fact that they are exactly the same as my old ones, but now with the option to go wireless. And with 40 hours of playback time on a single charge, they'll be able to make it through long flights and car rides and anything else, and I'll basically never have to worry. The only thing these headphones are lacking lacking is active noise cancellation, but I think if you're looking for that, you're looking for the Bose QC35s because nothing else compares. All in all, for about $50 more than the standard M50s, if you've been an Audio-Technica fan for a while and hoped they would go wireless, your prayers have been answered here and they are well worth the money. I would easily take these over the standard wired M50s and be more than happy with the decision. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what you think of these new wireless M50s in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.